Are you trans? Have you experienced one or more of these symptoms? Feeling guilty about being trans, but specifically for the reason of, like betraying your team, so to speak. Now, this could go for if you are male to female or female to male, and I feel like the relationships with these feelings would be slightly different for either party, for either you know, type of trans person, and also it applies to non-binary folks too. Basically, if you're assigned male at birth or assigned female at birth, you might either one of you might be feeling these things. Either one of you glorious groups, you see. So it's like, for me, I feel a sense of guilt that I don't actually like think is justified, and yet I still think it's like it's good to talk about this, right? Like I wanna see if other people experience this. So like I think it's quite obvious that like why one would feel guilty as a transgender person who's assigned female at birth, because women are like they're oppressed, they're really put down. The patriarchy is real and it's vicious, and it's it's like uh so to become a member of the oppressive class, in a way, I mean, I don't think demi boys are very powerful in society and all that, and I think that inherently if you're transgender you probably don't have a lot of power. But for what it's worth, I might in the future be like cis passing, um I might be stealth. I might live as a stealth trans person. If you don't know what that means, it means like not being out as transgender to people who don't know that you're trans. You know what I mean? Like just kind of you know, especially like in terms of like strangers and stuff, and like people you might work with and stuff like that. Like you would probably be out to your family, because if they saw you as you were born, they probably know what your assigned gender is. They probably know like what genitals you were born with and all that. So, but like, ain't it gross how much importance we put on genitals or like chromosomes? Like chromosomes, it's not like gross. It's just like who cares? Like you can't see them. You know, most of us, we've never seen our chromosomes. Like just saying. Um. Anyway, so like, ooh. So anyway, like you would still most. I think most stealth people are still out to their like maybe their significant other, most likely. I think that like it's it's a fear that a lot of cisgender people have, especially cisgender men who are straight, like cishet men. They're afraid of like transgender people kind of like surprising them, like luring them into a sexual or romantic kind of relationship, and then like when it comes down to actually do the fucking devil's tango or whatever the fuck, when it comes time to like engage in fucking coitus, then like surprise genitalia you weren't expecting. Ooh, Jack in the Box moment, man. Wow. you know Here you were just like, you know, played for a fool, and now you're trapped. That's why they're called traps. It's really sad. But anyway, that's actually ridiculous, and I mean, it's probably happened a non-zero amount of times, but like most of us are decent people. Like transgender people and queer people in general are way, 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 way more likely to be the victims of SA and R than the average person. Um, so like anyway, that wasn't my main point. Trans guilt is my main point, but I just I need to, like, talk about this important stuff because this stuff is important, you know? That's called circular reasoning. It's okay. Sometimes circular reasoning can be used in a, like, you don't actually, I'm not actually thinking in a circular manner, but you can speak in a manner of circular reasoning, to kind of like emphasize your firmness on something. I'm explaining myself when it's not necessary, but I'm in a very articulate mood if you can't tell. You know, sometimes I just get into these moods where I just want to explain everything because I don't know, it's like it makes me look smart, but it's actually a bit stupid because of, like, you know, it's so unnecessary. But I don't care. I don't care. I'm showing off. I'm showing off the fact that I can think coherently. Ah ha ha ha. It's not always possible for me. Ha ha ha. Anyway, um, trans guilt. So yeah, it's like, you know, my mother, she really did. I feel like when I came out to her as trans, she did feel very betrayed at first. You know, she said things that, you know, like she said, wouldn't it be fucked up if like a black person just decided they wanted to look a little bit more white in the same way that, you know, I want to look more masculine, you know? And like I just don't think that's equivalent because like, well, it's really hard to explain, and some of it might just be completely arbitrary, but like I just don't think that genders are so, like, the concept of gender is so inherently oppressive the way that like the concept of race is. Like when you, I mean, people can identify with the races that they are assigned. That's completely fine. You know, you can embrace your racial identity. That's okay. But I think that like it's not ideal to have these concepts. Like it's no individual can just change it, so you might as well, you know, if you're a person of color especially, like if you're a white person and you're like, yeah, I'm white, that's awesome, kind of sus, because, you know, obvious reasons, but you know, it's like white people aren't like inherently evil, but if you're like if you put a lot of importance on your whiteness and you have a lot of like pride in it, it's like that's a little sus. But I digress. So, what I mean to say is that if you're a person of color, you have every right to embrace your racial identity and your cultural identity and all that. That's beautiful and very good, and I would encourage it. You know, but I don't think that it's really beneficial for us as a society and as a species of, you know, humans and all that to have these concepts of race, as I do think that they are. I don't know, maybe they're not intrinsically oppressive. Could you imagine a world where they're not used for oppression? Maybe, but the fact is that they're not based in science, but then that's the same with gender. You know, I feel like it's a conversation that is like, I really would love to hear a lot of people talk about it. I mean, there was a black leftist YouTuber that talked about this. I forget. I think it was either T1J or uh let me think. I'm bad with memory. It's not because I don't care about this guy. It's because like I forget everything. I forget everything, guys. Like seriously, it's bad. It's bad. FD Signifier, there he is. So it was either T1J or FD Signifier, and I don't get them mixed up because they're black. I get them mixed up because they both have, like, they're both similar in certain ways of being like, I don't know, it's like, they're not actually that similar, but like I feel like the way that their humor and like seriousness is entwined is kind of similar, and the way that they talk about race issues and gender issues and stuff. Like, both of their channels are more racially focused than a lot of, like, white leftist YouTubers are. And, of course, that makes a lot of sense. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know, maybe that's still just going back to the whole me mixing them up for basically just being black thing. Like, maybe I am actually terrible. Am I terrible, guys? I don't think so. They don't look similar, like, at all. Like, they do not look similar. It's not like that. It's just that, like, this video that I watched, I'm pretty sure it was by FD Signifier. But anyway, like, and it's okay that this is rambly, like, that this video is rambly. I hope that you're okay with it, because I'm okay with it, you know? I think it's okay to ramble, you know? Anyway, I do want to say it was FD Signifier that made that video, and, like, but it's just that it was so long ago that I saw it, you know what I mean? So, but I think it's FD Signifier, especially since I've been watching him longer than I've been watching... Wait, no, I think it was T1 fucking J. I've been meaning to say T1J this whole time. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. Yeah, I think it was T1J. I don't think it was FD Signifier, but I get them mixed up because both of their names have, like, acronyms in the name, like, abbreviations, you know? That's a big reason why I get them mixed up, too, you know? They both have those abbreviations, man, or acronyms or whatever. God. Yeah. You know, ADHD is just like this. You just kind of live in a mist, a fucking mist, a vapor, you know? A fucking nebulous aurora borealis kind of thing. It's beautiful, but, you know, at what cost? At what cost? You get lost in the sauce. Yeah. Anyway, you know, I feel that maybe on the flip side, this was something that I know happened to at least one person. It was, Abigail Thorne from, Philosophy Tube. She is transgender, and when she came out, I think it was in her first coming out video, like her first video as a woman, like, you know, openly, right? Openly a woman. I mean, she was already, like, privately living as a woman, but it was like, she wasn't ready to come out yet because she is, like, I guess, the biggest, maybe the most famous, transgender woman in her country, in England, so, you know. Is England a country? Yeah, I think it is, right? It's not... It's a country, right? I don't know. Squeak. I hope that picked up on the mic, because I am proud of my little squeaks. Let me do it again, look. Isn't that nice? So yeah, but, Abigail. Right, so she talked about how, she felt a bit like a betrayer. I guess, I don't know if she put it in that, like, if she used that word, but I think I sensed a feeling of, like, that she felt that she had betrayed her community of, like, the male audience she had, because she was told by multiple guys that, you know, back when she lived as a man and stuff, she was told by these guys that, or I guess I should just say, like, before she transitioned and stuff, before she was out, especially to herself and others and everything, yeah, like, especially to others, you know, if not herself too, is what I meant to say. I'm sorry, I'm a bit, like, worried with language and all that, because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. It's like, I'm not... I know, I'll get to the topic soon. But I don't correct myself to just look like a better person. It's not a virtue signaling thing at all. I really do just care a lot about articulating myself clearly, and, more importantly, keeping everyone comfortable and making everybody feel, seen, especially those that are not usually prioritized, you know, their feelings and all that. So yeah, you know, the downtrodden folk of the world, you know. But, right, so, Abigail Thorne said that these guys were saying to her back when she was like pre-transition, saying to her that like they looked up to her as an example of like positive masculinity, you know, like non-toxic positive masculinity, and they saw her as like a man that was very just good, you know, like I mean, I don't think that frankly, I don't think that Abigail was ever extremely masculine. Like, was she ever male presenting? Sure. Sure. You know, but like I never really if you know, you had asked me back when she was pre-transition, if you had asked me to describe that person, right? That person who was male presenting and everything. I don't think masculine would be a word that I would use at all, you know? Um Even before she came out as bisexual, I don't think that um I would have thought of her as masculine. And you know, bisexuality it doesn't really mean anything. Like, it doesn't make you more feminine or more masculine or anything, but still, like, I don't know. I don't know. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. Like, sexuality and gender and everything, gender expression and stuff, it's like, there's a relationship there, but it's like, the relationship that's there, it's different for everybody, isn't it? Right. You know, there's plenty of masculine gay men out there, and there's plenty of, like, feminine lesbians, and so, you know, stereotypes aren't always the truth. There can be some credence to it, or whatever. There can be some, like, patterns, you know? But, that doesn't mean that they're universal at all. And by the way, like, not everyone is feminine all the time, or masculine all the time, or androgynous all the time. Like, sometimes people are fluid. It's very cool, you know? So, you know, I'm talking about trans guilt. It's like, yeah. So do you feel it, right? Like, have you ever felt guilty for being trans, for betraying your team, and, like, kind of abandoning the cause? Or, and, like, how do you cope with it? I think I cope with it by, like, you know, knowing that it's not really how that works. Like, for one thing, for me speaking for myself here, like, and speaking for, you know, just speaking to my, situation here, like, I don't think that women necessarily need me, like, as an individual. To think that I could save, um, you know, female, the female population single-handedly, or even, like, help them significantly on my own, that's absurd, really. I mean, it's, like, not impossible. Like, maybe say I become very famous or powerful or whatever, then I have an influence over people and everything. But, like, realistically, literally, how much change could one person make? There's just, the chances are so low. It's like, I mean, but, you know, maybe just in my personal life, there would be some change going on, some influence in people, but, you know, it's like, it's ridiculous, I think. And I think it's arrogant to put that much importance on myself, and kind of sexist, right? I think that women are strong enough without me being on their side, you know. And I'm still on their side. I'm just not, like, a woman. I'm not a girl. I'm not a woman, I'm not a girl. I'm not either one of those, you know. By the way, guys, side note here, but lately, not out loud, but just in my head, I've been saying this. This is kind of my new little, like, I guess you could say, like, positive affirmation. I usually do funny positive affirmations because, you know, humor is delish. It's so delish. It's so tasty. So I'll say, like, I'm a grown-ass man. That's my new positive affirmation, or mantra, or whatever. It's my new little saying. I'm a grown-ass man. Because I am, technically, right? I'm 18, and I'm a guy. In a way. I'm a guy of sorts. You know. And it's like, I'm a grown-ass man. Ain't that crazy? That's crazy. Man, I want to get when I get my driver's license, I want it to be like, I don't know what the laws are in California, because I'll probably get my, driver's license in California and everything. So, I don't know what, and I'll get back to my point. I know that I was leaving a little thing there, a little, cliffhanger. I'll get back to it, but I've been reflecting on, like, if they do have a gender marker in California for, like, non-binary, or whatever, or any kind of, anything that's not male or female, so, non-binary, basically, like, any kind of gender marker for that, would I take it? Like, would I take the non-binary option, or would I go for the safe option and just put M for male? I definitely wouldn't want F. If I have any say in it, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want it to say that I'm a female, because I'm not. So if I have any say in it, right, then, I would either put a M for male, or I would put a non-binary thing. And I think it might just boil down to how masculine I look, how male-passing I am, at that time, Like, because I'm kind of, like, not super... I don't super-duper care, really. Like, I have, I have plenty of days, or moments, where I feel very non-binary, and then I have plenty of days or moments where I feel very male, and then in between, and sometimes even a little girly. I pretty much never feel like a woman. Or, if I do, I don't really ever feel like a feminine woman, you know what I mean? So, that's why I don't really fuck with that term, that label, because it almost never applies to me. I might be gender fluid, guys. In fact, I do think I am, actually, but, like, it's very complicated. I still identify as a demi-boy, a non-binary demi-boy, so... This is a whole thing, but if you've seen my DID video, you would know that, like, some of my alters, and, okay, there's a lot to say. Let's go back, let's rewind and try to go back to what I was saying earlier that I promised I would get back to. So, but I'll get to those other things. There's a lot of things to say, isn't there? So I was talking about how, women don't really need me to defend them, that's kind of like the gender equivalent of, like, a white savior, Like, no, it's not, because, like, this is going with the assumption that, like, I would be one of the girls helping them by being one of them, but I just think that's silly, I think it's so silly. I think that women are strong enough to help themselves. At the same time, I don't think that that's fair. That's not fair. And, like, sometimes it's not that simple at all. Like, like, so maybe I don't actually mean that. Because, guys, sometimes you can't do stuff. Like, save yourself from, like, everything that's going on. Sometimes you don't have power in situations, and just in general. Did you know that? Yeah, some of us aren't God. That's crazy, right? I know. Like, ridiculous, But yeah, some of us aren't God. So, right, yeah. But I'm just saying, I just think, regardless, women don't need me on their team. I'm still on their side, just not on their team. It's different, Am I rooting for them? In the crowd? In the audience? Absolutely, goddamn, yes, man, I've got my jersey on, I've got my face paint, right? I'm totally on their side, but, I'm just not on their team. I'm not, like, playing the game. I'm just, like, rooting for them, Anyway, I'll get back to my other stuff now. And by the way, there's also the sorry. There's also the matter of like, what about transgender people? Are they not to be supported? You know? And what about men? If I'm to be one of the guys, one of the blokes, one of the fucking gents, you know? The homies, the fellas. I mean, I could go on and on. I could go on and on. But, like, right, so if this sort of situation goes both ways, then perhaps I could become an example of positive masculinity and healthy masculinity and all that jazz. You know? Like, I can still be good. I could still be good. The matter is nuanced. The matter is nuanced, motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. I like that word. Do you like that word? I like that word, yeah. I'd say the word yeah and the word fuck are like, they're my two favorite non-fancy words, you know? My two favorite common words. Anyway, so I'll talk about my stupid gender again, as always. How many liberals does it take to screw in a light bulb? None. They're too busy. Their gender. That's a reference to a meme. If it doesn't make sense to you, it's, well, it's a meme. It's a meme. It's a meme. You get it. You get the gist. So I'm gender fluid, yeah. But I'm also a demi-boy because, so I have, like, multiple personalities because of the whole maybe having DID thing. And not all of my alters, that is, not all of my personalities, are, and when it's, like, kind of weird for me to say personalities. Like, I think of them more as, like, different people that live in the body. Which, like, kind of sounds like the same thing, but it feels slightly different, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, my folks don't all use the same pronouns or have the same gender identities. Most of them are non-binary and or masculine, but a few of them are femme. One of them is actually a woman, but she's very masc-presenting. But anyway, so, like, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that's why I'm gender fluid, but I'm also a demi-boy, because, the host, Sid Muzingo, is a demi-boy, masculine, uses all pronouns, though. I'll tell you a secret, I'm not Sid right now, Sid Muzingo, I'm someone else, but, I might not tell you who I am, because I'm shy. I mean, I'm not shy, but I'm shy. You know, I'm shy, but I'm not shy, but you know how it is. It's like, you know, it's quite vulnerable introducing yourself to people, and, when you're not, like, a normal human, like, when you're a brain human instead of, like, a brain and body human, then it's like, you kinda, like, are treated differently and seen differently, and stuff like that, you know what I mean? It's a bit awkward being, an alter, you know. So, yeah. But anyway, even if Sid doesn't have DID, we still think that, like, it's probably a matter of plurality. Plural systems, plurality is a concept relating to DID, but not exclusive to it. It's just a concept of, like, multiple people living in one body, basically. And, so, it's like, it's not always caused by mental illness. Sometimes it's just kind of like a thing that some people have, and I you know, we intend to do more research on it, and we will, and we'll probably get back to you and stuff. But for now, it's like yeah. But me and the gang have already started living as this this monstrous amalgamation, this Frankenstein existence, because like two people in our lives are like a friend of ours, and actually no, it's like three people, but only two of them have really like actually been introduced to anyone besides Sid. No. Oh god, there's actually a lot. This is just like when Sid was figuring out how many altars they have. They were like, oh god, there's like 1, 2, 3. Oh god, there's so many. So yeah, but I'm just saying it's still like a handful of people that we're out to as a system, or as we like to call it, a Sidstem. Like that's the name of this Sid's system. That's the name of our system, is the Sidstem, because like three, like the host is named Sid, and then there's also like two other Sids in there. So yeah, spoiler alert, you can kind of probably imagine who those fellas are, but don't fucking worry about it, man. It's a whole thing, but like we're living in the plural life and stuff with a few people, and it's like, so it's not just a matter of like theory at this point. Like we've kind of fleshed it out and everything. We've like started doing it, and it's kind of like, if you don't think it's real, just think about it like this. Like if a man says he's gay, and then he like does gay things, he kisses men, he dates men, dare I say it, he fucks men, and he likes it. He likes every fucking bit of it. Well, you just look at him and say, no, you're not gay. You're just straight. It's like, okay, you're fooling yourself. Now, this is going back to the whole thing, like, we might not have DID, Sid might not have DID, but it's like, it's just, it's another thing going on, maybe. But I'm just saying, like, it is a matter of plurality, for sure. So, yeah. But, like, Sid probably isn't going to be out as a plural, system for, like, everybody in their lives. And, like, they're certainly not going to be out to their mother. She can't know about it. Or if she can, it's probably once we've moved out and all that. But, Sid doesn't want to be a burden, and, like, it's like, it's not super, it's kind of a huge deal, but at the same time it's not. It's like in, Basket Case by Green Day, like, do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once? Like, that's a good lyric. That's a really good lyric, man. Come on. Like, that's a feeling, right? I don't know, it's not quite Shakespearean, but, it's good. See, Shakespeare, I invoke Shakespeare, like, not just because he's this smart guy, this famous big boy, smarty pants boy, but because specifically, and I learnt this from Abigail Thorne, that, like, there's like a quote by someone, and I don't know who it is, but it may be a famous quote. I know that Abigail talked about it. Somebody said that Shakespeare is special because he has conveyed every single emotion or feeling in the human experience, in his works. And while I don't think that's possible, and I don't think it was meant to be taken at face value, I do think that, like, what's trying to be said here is that Shakespeare is good at conveying obscure feelings in the human experience, common ones, and obscure ones, and very specific ones, and very universal ones, niche, common, rare, specific, simple, intense, mild, all this stuff, you know, got a wide range of, feelings and emotions and situations to, like, to fucking write about in his works. So, anyway, that's why I mentioned Shakespeare. Like, I don't think that that line in Basket Case by Green Day is, and by the way, I wonder if I said Casket Base earlier because of our username, but I don't know. I might have. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think that line is quite Shakespearean levels of genius. And I don't even like Shakespeare like that, but, you know. I think he's alright. Anyway, yeah, I just think it's a good line. I think it speaks to me. It speaks to Sid. It speaks to a lot of the folks in the Sidstem. So, yeah. Don't think there's anything else for me to say. I'm happy, with our chat, friendos. Oh, I guess one more thing I'll say is that I apologize if it's creepy for, you to see, like, the face before you, not the makeup, this isn't about that, but, disturbing, isn't it? But no, that's not what I'm talking about. I mean, I apologize if it's, like, disturbing to see this face and this voice talk as if it's a different person. Like, that is, you know, associated with craziness and all that, and, like, especially, like, a dangerous kind of, like, concerning, frightening, dark craziness. But, Sid's not in a bad place. I'm not in a bad place. A lot of us are doing really good, most of us are. And, you know, it's like, this has been a very interesting journey for us, you know? And I'm sorry that it's odd for me to say us, as if, you know, we are multiple people, but that's the way that, the folks, me and the gang have been living for, you know, a couple weeks now, with people. Like, we've been trying out this, lifestyle, and it feels, like, very nice. It feels right, and it feels natural, and, yeah, it's just, we've been talking to people in terms of being other people, like, being multiple people, living in one body and in one mind, and it feels quite natural to us. So, you know, it's something to get used to, and, like, again, it doesn't have to come up all the time, like, I think it would be bad for it to be just completely never spoken of, you know, in like, our relationships with, family and loved ones and such. Like, for us to never talk about it, I think would be impractical and depressing and, unhealthy, but, like, it doesn't have to be a huge deal, you know? But I'm a bit sad that I should have to say that, because, well, this is just, like, a thing, you know? It's weird, objectively weird. Uncommon, unusual, different, yes. But I don't think it's bad. Maybe we'll learn later that it's unhealthy, and then we'll have to, like, undo this whole mess. But we'll have to, you know, I think it'll take serious convincing for me and the gang to not be put off by that idea, because, like, a lot of us have been living here for a long time, honestly. And, you know, some of us really get along, you know, not all of us. But some of us are really great friends, and we work together as a team and everything, and it's a whole thing. So, to just try to kind of undo this and, like, I don't know, homogenize us or whatever, to mix us up into one person would be maybe destructive and impractical and, depressing. And so, I don't know, man, we'll just have to see what happens. So that's all I have to say now. I am gonna go now. I'm gonna wait for the time to go to go. I want it to be exactly 40 minutes. I've been talking for a long time, haven't I? Yeah, I want it to be exactly 40 minutes, so I'm gonna let the clock tick down. Tick 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 tick. Tick tick tick. I'm weird, I know I'm weird, but it's okay. It's okay. Tick 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 tick.